Select Contents and then User Guide. This procedure outlines how to visually inspect the compress melt unit. Turn off electrical power to the CMU. Tag the breaker out of service in accordance with approved shipboard procedures. Isolate the air pressure from the CMU being inspected. Close the air isolation valve AVA or AVB on the auxiliary unit. Open the bleed valve on the air manifold to bleed pressure. Verify the safety cover sits entirely within the width of the upper frame top plate and both safety cover hinge pins are installed. Open the safety cover. Verify the following items. Verify visually both gas springs are installed on the safety cover. Verify the plastic retainer caps are installed on each end of each gas spring. Verify visually the ball studs on the safety cover are installed in the holes closest to the front of the safety cover. Verify the gas springs are fully charged. Fully raise the safety cover and release it. The safety cover should remain in the open position when released. Verify both bumpers are installed. Verify both bumpers are screwed as far into the safety cover as possible. Verify the safety cover latch is present. Close the safety cover and latch the toggle latch. Verify the following items. The latch should toggle and snap into the lock position. The gap between the bottom of the safety cover and the upper frame top plate should be minimal. Verify the cables and hoses on top of the door are properly routed and secured. Verify the following. Verify visually the cable loop clamp is installed on the hinge bracket. Verify the door power cable W102 is routed in a loop and is secured in the cable loop clamp. Verify the loop.
The classification of this video is unclassified. Torque wrench calibration, part 104. Equipment setup.
This unit is to calibrate torque wrenches type 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's an AKO, made by AKO. It's a model TSD 650 TAC BBAT. Inside this unit there are 2 torque transducers. Transducer 1 would be a 0 to 50 foot-pounds. Transducer 2 has a capacity of 800 foot-pounds. First step is to hook up power. The receptacle is located on the back side of the unit. Before turning the unit on, locate 2 torque transducers and hook them up. Pay close attention to the color coding as it is important to identify which cell they are. It is important to note that the torque cells must be hooked up before the power is turned on, otherwise you will damage the unit.
This video is unclassified.
Hello, my name is Lieutenant Commander Jason Williams, the navigator at Submarine School, and I'm here to talk to you about some weather-related incidents as they pertain to the submarine force. Over the last 15 plus years, we've had on average greater than 1 incident per year due to weather-related scenarios. It would be the 4 different areas of operation, and 2, the impact of your ship's positioning relative to that sea state and how that impact could affect your operations. Thank you for watching. Ocean waves, the most easily observed phenomenon at sea, are probably the least width of the fetch, wind duration, and water depth. The fetch is the surface area of the water that is in the movement of the wave approaches shallower water. The troughs will interact with the rising bottom, cause the wave height to increase, which in turn causes the wave speed to slow down. So this effect of the higher wave height and slower wave speed would come into play. Now, if you have seas off the beam, although you may take less waves over the sail and down the bridge trunk, if you're in a situation where you have personnel topside for any sort of personnel transfer or cargo transfer, you have a much higher risk of waves crashing across topside and posing risk to those personnel. So let's say you're on an Ohio class. A big difference with that class of ship in the free flood area and actually come through the bridge access hatch internal to the sail without having to be taken over the top. So it might seem safe and not dangerous to those personnel on the top of the sail when in fact they'll tend to crash onto the side of the submarine and then over topside, causing risk to the personnel. The method of creating a lee is only useful up to a certain wave height. Once the seas get high enough, you won't be able to keep them from crashing over topside.
Welcome to the Cascade Door Official Restrictive Device Maintenance Job Performance Aid. This JPA will help you understand proper procedures for inspecting and backflushing the cord. If you are familiar with the operation of a JPA, click the next button to begin. If you would like more information about the use and navigation of a JPA, click Contents and select User Guide. The Cascade Door Official Restrictive Device is a device that throttles pressurized water down to an acceptable flow rate. A cord utilizes a series of perforated plates. These plates create an incremental pressure drop as water flows over each plate, which reduces the flow rate. For the large pulper, the cord is used to reduce the flow rate to approximately 100 gallons per minute, allowing the system to achieve a desired water level of 8 to 10 inches below the feed chute curtain. The personal protective equipment needed to perform maintenance on the cord are gloves, goggles, safety glasses. The tools and materials needed to complete removal and maintenance of the cord are 2 15/16 inch wrenches, 15/16 inch socket, pick, 3/8 inch drive ratchet, 5-gallon bucket, hose, anti-seize compound, 3/4 inch socket, 3/4 inch wrench. De-energize and/or isolate the main circuit breaker and attach safety tag in accordance with the TOM and/or local tag-out instructions. Secure fire main root isolation valve and inlet supply isolation valve. Bleed off the system pressure using the following steps. Press and hold the manual override push button located on the solenoid of the pneumatic inlet supply valve actuator for 3 seconds. The valve will open and allow the pressure to bleed off into the pulper. Press and hold the manual override push button located on the solenoid of the pneumatic eductor supply actuator for 3 seconds. The valve will open and allow the remaining water to drain from the system. With both the fire main root isolation valve and inlet supply isolation valve already secure, tag out in accordance with the TOM and/or local tag out instruction. Clean and inspect large pulper cord as follows. Put on safety glasses. Using a 15/16 inch socket and 15/16 inch wrench, remove the nuts from all the bolts in the flanges. Retain for reinstallation. Remove the bolts in the flanges at each end of the cord, leaving the 12 o'clock bolts installed at each end. Retain for reinstallation. Remove the bolts at the 12 o'clock positions and gently wiggle the cord from the piping, being careful not to damage the flange gasket.